What, without it on?
Without it on.
All right, okay. Right, so James, what actually is workforce planning and why is it important to an organisation?
Workforce planning is the act of aligning your organisation's people strategy to your organisation's changing and developing needs. Given that 71% of data projects fail due to not having a suitably skilled workforce, and since presumably you want data projects to succeed, people power becomes your most valuable asset. Therefore, you need to plan how you're going to engage, utilise and retain your people.
Okay, but who's actually responsible for it in an organisation?
Effective workforce planning should touch on every stage of the employee journey. When we're workforce planning with a client, we expect to interact with the CDO, the head of data, data managers, but also HR, talent acquisition teams and marketing. Ultimately, it's every stage of the employee journey from their first engagement with your employer brand until they've left your organisation and joined your alumni network. With tools like Glassdoor available, what an individual says about your culture and their experience once they've left is as important as how they experience it whilst they're still there.
Okay, so how will workforce planning help me and what are the tangible outputs?
Workforce planning ultimately should help calibrate with the external market and communicate what you're doing internally and why you're doing it. Some of the tangible benefits, tangible outputs from effective workforce planning include driving performance through clearly communicated goals and milestones, keeping a team committed and engaged through clear career development planning, increasing internal mobility and the opportunity for gender parity through succession planning, and establishing your place as a thought leader and an employer of choice.
That's excellent. So I guess how do I start a conversation about workforce planning?
3 key areas to think about when you want to kick off a conversation about workforce planning. Firstly, your data team. How clearly do you understand your values and behaviours as a team? How are you perceived by the rest of your organisation? And how are you perceived by the wider marketplace? Secondly, think about contribution. How does your output help you achieve short-term and long-term goals? And how do you acknowledge good performance and differentiate between reward and recognition? And thirdly, your people. Think about the individuals in your team. Do you know what their career aspirations are? Are there plans in place to help them towards their goals? And ultimately, what's their level of engagement and satisfaction? If you find through any of those areas that you can't answer those questions or that you're left wanting, then you need to think about workforce planning solutions.
That's brilliant. Thanks, James. That's really insightful.
Okay.